Hey, Kris. From talking to the guys in the room, it didn't seem like they were really thrilled with maybe the first 10 or 15 minutes, but then what would you say about the way that they kind of collected themselves and obviously carried the play from there?
I thought they played a lot more responsible, a lot more direct hockey. First five, actually probably, 10 or 15 minutes for sure. It was a little sloppy. I thought we were happy with just exchanging chances. And most often we can win a lot of games by doing that, just because I think you exchange chances and your skill's going to probably finish more chances than the opposition chances. But I think in the long run, when you're playing good teams that don't exchange chances, you are running into trouble. And that's something we don't want to get into, is playing that type of hockey. And I thought they did a heck of a job the last 50 minutes of, I don't know, we gave up 11 shots in probably the last 50 minutes of hockey. So I think they were playing pretty responsible from then.
So for the last, 5 of the last 6 periods, or 5 plus of the last 6 periods, what do those, what is that stretch of hockey? What do you think that's meant to your team? And as you guys try to turn it around here?
Well, I think a lot of things are happening right now. You can see the confidence in some of our players, and I think McDavid's probably leading that with his point production and making plays. But I think a lot of it is of our team. We're getting 4 lines that are playing really well. The insertion of Janmark into our lineup has helped, taking away some penalty kill responsibilities from our top guys. And and Brown also. Brown and Janmark have been a really good pair. So some of those other guys have really had spot duty, which they can do it, but 5-on-5, they're much better when they're rested. So if we need them killing, they can do it, but I think we're better off on those Janmarks and Browns and Fogels and McLeod's doing more of that penalty kill time.
Can you have an appreciation for Hamblin and the journey that he's had, and 5 years in the Dub, and then obviously the parts of 4 seasons in the American League, especially given that you've touched those bases as a head coach yourself on that way?
Absolutely. It's nice to see those guys grind it out and get rewarded for all their hard work and perseverance. It's happy. And you see guys through my coaching career that have that opportunity to finally make it, where maybe a lot of guys have said, no, they can't do it. They're not big enough. They're not fast enough. And Hammy's been playing really well for us. And it's just nice to see him get rewarded with another goal.
How much of the transition game were some of the things that you've worked on over the last few days that you've had a chance to practice, and how much of it was maybe just the style of game that your opponent played?
Sorry, Bob, can you repeat that?
The transition game. How much of it was what you've worked on in practice and using the middle of the ice, and how much of it was maybe a little bit opponent dependent?
Not necessarily. I think I saw what we were practicing out there on the ice. I thought our D moved the puck up well. I thought our forwards did pretty well on the wall, making those the next play. Certainly after the first 10 or 15 minutes. But, I think that transition play on the attack, probably where we got into most of our troubles first, just too many turnovers at the blue line. Last 50 minutes, I don't recall that many, or if any. So it's a fine line on making plays on the attack, especially the team that we have. It's going to happen. We don't want to be a complete dump and chase team, but when they've defended it and our options are limited, we want to put that puck behind their defense, put it in the forward check, and that's ultimately what you want your team to be, is a team to be hard to play against. And I think we're getting more of that into our game.
Kris, Darnell Nurse outlet passes today directly to goals, the McDavid and then the Nugent Hopkins one. Nugent Hopkins mentioned how he basically called right off the draw. What have you seen? I don't know how much you knew about him, how much you'd watched, but what have you seen of his play lately that you've liked?
Well, I think Paul's been doing a really good job with the defense back there. A lot of talking and communication with him, trying to get him being a little more assertive and making plays. The plays that Darnell made, especially the one on off the face-off to Hopkins, was just an exceptional pass. But, such a good skater, with a good stick, can close space like very few in the NHL can. And that's the biggest thing we're trying to push him is just be assertive, close that space, and just creating turnovers. And I think he's been doing a good job at doing that.
And since you've come here, the penalty kill's now at 89.6%. You've given up as many goals as you've scored. You're even 3-3 on the penalty kill. Did you make any systemic changes at all? What's led to the success on the penalty kill recently?
Well, it's unfair to say that it's me coming in there that we changed anything. I think a lot of it has to do with, be honest, a lot of it has to do with luck. And times pucks go in when you might not give up a chance and one chance and it goes in. And, I think there's been chances where our goaltending's been good. Obviously, anytime penalty kills is going well, absolutely your goaltending has to make in saves. And I think that's part of it. I think a lot of it has to do with just the guys that we're using. I think they're rested, they're bought in, they have found a role, and they're really dedicated in performing that job well. And then another thing, I think Stewie, Mark Stewart's running the penalty kill. And when I got here, we were trying to divide up responsibilities and who's going to do what. And, Gully's obviously got the power play. And Koff is running the defense. Haven't done much penalty kill. And obviously we put it on his plate. And for everything I've seen so far, the meetings he's doing and what he's telling the guys is phenomenal. And there's many reasons, and I think the job Stewie's doing is a big part of it.
And tonight, the first 7-8 minutes, you didn't like your team's game. Stewart seemed to be fighting the puck a little bit, didn't make a lot of clean saves, and then he made that one glove save, and then after that, he just seemed more poised. How important is it for you to, see guys kind of fight their way through, maybe if they don't have everything early, but then find a way to find their game?
Yeah, no, first period, obviously he found his game, and I think for goalies, they usually perform well when there's predictability, when you know where the shots are going to come down, and there's going to be breakdowns, and then you need the goalie making a key save. But I think as the game went on, there's more predictability we had better structure. And the first goal, I don't think he has any opportunity to save that. The second one, I think he just got in between making a read. And I know there was one that looked a little shaky, but it was kind of a fluke play where the shot was going wide, it went off the back of the net, and it bounces into his feet behind him. So it looks awkward, but really there's nothing he can do on that play. But certainly he lets in 2 goals and just got, kind of a shaky road trip a little bit. And he could definitely be second-guessing himself, but I don't think there was at all tonight. He found his game and he played really well. And back to that save on the glove hand save, it was a good shot. It was a good scoring chance, and he made it look pretty easy.
Kris, you have a unique perspective in that you saw Connor when he was very young, and now you're seeing him here up close when he's at the top of his game. I was just wondering, what are you seeing right now from him that maybe you saw back then that kind of compare the two back then and now?
Well, as good as Connor is right now, I don't think I'm ever going to see anything I saw in junior. Just because of the level of competition, he was far superior than most of his peers there. But right now, obviously, he's confident with the puck. He's obviously got a lot of chemistry with Hyman and Nuge. And, it's nice to see those guys. When a line has chemistry because, one, they're performing well on the ice. But when they're coming off the bench, immediately they're talking. They're communicating about what they saw and what they could have done. And it's not like talking on frustration of, give me the puck, why didn't you do this? There's none of that. It's just like, oh, did you see this play? And I was going here, and this is what I was thinking. And I think that's nice to see.
It's difficult to imagine a guy would have confidence issues, but he said, a few weeks ago that might have been an issue. But what have you seen since you got here in a sense that what changed in the last week for him?
I don't know. I'm not sure what it was. Maybe just getting away, getting on the road, maybe getting some lucky bounces. Just, it's amazing how much a player's confidence gets affected with just scoring a point. Just getting on the score sheet, or maybe, I don't know, I'm not sure what turned it around. Obviously, he's an elite athlete, an incredible player. He was going to figure it out. Like, he was going to find his game. And, yeah, I'm not sure what was the turning point.
Here to your left, a couple of weeks ago you were standing up there as the new head coach of the Oilers, and you have your family in town with you for a first time. I just wonder if you can describe sharing this great experience and this new hockey experience with them for a first time in person.
Yeah, no, it's pretty special. It's been a great weekend, them being here, and I think they had a pretty good experience. I saw them for a little bit after the game, and certainly want to hear more about their night. And the way we played tonight and the way the outcome, we're going to have to get them here more often.
Coach, we just have a question in the back here. This young lady has one for you.
How fun has it been to coach Connor McDavid?
It's been a great pleasure coaching Connor. Obviously, he's a great hockey player. You see that on the ice, making plays that very few can, but also the leadership he provides to the team it helps the coaches a lot.
Thank you.
Kris, over here, Zach Hyman has always said he's not just a natural goal scorer, but he's got 12 goals in 20 games. Is it just around the puck a lot? That's why he scores the goals he does?
Well, goals, no matter who you are, Ovechkin, Stamkos, those elite scored, Matthews, they've got an exceptional shot, and maybe he doesn't have that natural scoring ability of shooting on the perimeter or outside the dots. But even as good as they are at scoring goals, it's usually around the net. You think of their goals, their score, and some come to mind, but if you look at the course of all the goals they score, it's usually just crashing the net. And, well, Zach's been going to the net and not getting tied up, making sure he's fighting for position, getting inside position, not allowing the defenseman lifting his stick, doing those kind of things. And so he's been rewarded with it. And also it doesn't hurt playing with Draisaitl and McDavid, because they're obviously going to find him a lot and get the puck towards there, or towards the net.
Thank you.